How you doing, YouTube? Silver Shareholder here. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to everyone about prepping and how it relates to silver investing. I want to start out by saying I'm not a big-time prepper. I'm not one of these doomsday prepper people. I've watched some of that stuff, and a lot of it's pretty nutty. But I've also realized they have some good points, and there are some things that we should all keep in mind. One of them I've heard about is food rotation, and that just makes sense to me for someone who uses a lot of rice or a lot of flour. Why not have 5 or even 10 bags on hand at all times? And when you use the oldest one, just replace it so you're always rotating your food. And if there ever was some kind of catastrophe, you've got some food on hand to get you through a short period. And I don't see, it's not going to increase your food costs. If anything, it should lower them because you'll be able to buy your food when it's on sale at the lowest price instead of waiting until you're out and you just have to go buy it. And I don't see any downside, and it just seems like common sense. In the past, everybody had food storage, everybody had food on hand, and that's what got people through for generations and generations. And we've gotten pretty far removed from that today, and I think just having some extra food on hand at all times is a good move. I mean, it's common sense. People used to have root cellars or cold food storage where they'll have like a room in the basement, and they'll jar all their food and can everything and store it down there to keep it cool through the winter so they could eat that food all winter long. And most people have gotten away from that, so I mean, it just makes sense to have some food on hand. And if there's ever some kind of big storm or, a power outage where you're not able to get to the grocery stores or they don't have food, why not have enough to get you through a little period of hard time? And there's really nothing to lose. I mean, when you use it up, go buy another one. It just makes sense. And I hear a lot of people with silver, they talk about constitutional coinage and, bartering. And it'd be great to have that option, but really that would be the last option that anyone would want to use. And thankfully, most likely, we're never going to need that. It's probably never going to come to that. But if you are looking at, small denomination constitutional coinage in order to trade it off for bread and stuff like that, keep in mind that once you trade off all your silver, it's gone. So what you really want to do is trade your services or your knowledge. And knowledge is an asset. It is a form of wealth. And what you're going to want to do is be able to help people to become more self-sufficient themselves or get through their tough times. So instead of trading away your silver, you'd be much better off to trade your knowledge, whether it be how to collect runoff water from, rainstorms or how to purify water, or maybe it's gardening, where you could teach someone how to plant crops and or how to store, how to preserve food or how to hunt, anything like that, trapping. And that's all stuff that has gotten people through for thousands of years. And a lot of people have lost that ability and lost that knowledge. And that's stuff that's valuable. And we'll all be wise to kind of have an idea of how to do a lot of that stuff. And that's why I read some of these magazines and some of these books. I just feel like educating myself is always going to be a benefit. Even if I don't need a lot of it, it's always good to have some knowledge. I mean, you want to know what plants are edible or, what things might be antiseptic or medicinal. And, any knowledge that you can have is an asset, and it is a form of wealth. And the good thing about knowledge is it's, you can do these things and bring in money. It's a barter form or whatever. You can trade your services, and you're not stuck without anything in the end. So if you have silver, that's great. You could save it. But what you really want to trade is your knowledge. So just to keep that in mind. And and also that's why I get books and magazines, because for one, I'm just kind of that mentality where I'll read a book, but online it's harder for me to focus on these things. So if I have a book, I'll actually read it. But these ebooks and stuff, I really wouldn't read. So I'm looking at getting the Foxfire book series. That's a good one and relates to what I'm talking about. And I saw that I could get a download PDF or something of it, and it's really cheap, but I'm going to buy the books, which are a little expensive. But to me, I'll actually read those, so that's my reasoning. But also, if the power ever goes down or something, all this stuff's not going to be available. So while a magazine like this is going to be there to read, whatever other stuff you've got on your phones or whatever, that's not going to be there. So just keep that in mind. You want all this knowledge in your head, or at least you want it in book form, so that it's accessible in the future if some kind of tragedy ever did happen. But enough about that. Like I said, I'm really not into it. But you'd be unwise not to be aware of some things and not to have some skills and knowledge. And as far as silver, I just wanted to show everybody this. There's a Liberian, $20 Liberian coin. Those are pretty cool because they seem not to be too popular. And you can get them pretty low prices. You should be able to find those for spot or even less than spot. And they're $9.99 silver. Pretty cool coin, but they just seem to not be in really high demand. And good way to pick up some silver. And then I got a good deal on this. I thought everybody might think that's pretty cool. And that's actually sterling, but it's pretty unique. It's like 26 grams. A lot of detail on that. And I just hadn't seen one before, so I thought I'd share that with you guys. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to touch on that, though, that any knowledge that you have that you can use to bring in income, it's going to do you good, even now, day to day. I mean, maybe you could help somebody with something or teach someone something or whatever, and use that as a way to bring in some extra money for silver. And if the time should ever come where you do need it, it's going to be really valuable to have that knowledge and ability. And that's why I like some of this gardening stuff, and even read up on things that I'm not into. I read up on like trapping and hunting and just different things. And I watch some of these shows like Man versus Wild and stuff. And I don't plan on eating bugs or anything, but it's just good to know what's what in case if you ever need it, because there were thousands of years where that's how people came through the hard times. And we're all descendants of those people, so you don't want to be too far removed from how people, can really survive out there. Because if the day should ever come where that grocery store is closed or something, you don't want to starve. So I think gardening's a really good, knowledge to have, and I'm into organic gardening. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with everybody, and just touch on how as being prepared with silver as you can be, that's only a part of the puzzle. And just thought everyone could kind of benefit from that. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.